Hey everyone, it's Matt Johnson here. I've got Jonathan Zabrocki with ProfitsandPassions.com. We're so excited to record this video for you. What we're talking about is how to take more listings and work with your ideal clients. So we're going to get into some great content today. Jonathan, how's it going out there in San Diego?
It's going great. How are you doing, Matt?
Excellent. So we've got a lot to talk about. I'm excited. This is a very cool topic. I just want to point out for a couple of things. So there's going to be a couple of links in the email for a few things that if you'd like to get more information, more of this type of content, I encourage you to go there. Number one, there's the 4 secret steps to success guide. If you haven't already got that, there's a link in there so you can download that PDF. And then also, Jonathan, you've got a 2-hour webinar that you recorded that kind of goes into your real estate career and how you sold over $300 million. So there's a link where people can go and watch that and just really get a condensed look at everything that you teach, right?
Yeah, it's like a master class, exactly.
Love it. All right, and then the last thing is, so you're also offering kind of a 30-minute type of a strategy session. So what are some of the things that you would go over in that type of a call?
Well, I mean, basically where somebody is now and where they want to be. And sometimes there's a huge gap in that. Sometimes there's a small gap in that. Sometimes we want something, but maybe our behaviors aren't lining up to that. And just really help people find out what is it they want, and then basically what's the cost, physically, mentally to get there. And then either I can help them out or I can't.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's so the link for that, if you'd like to schedule that, you can actually go and just click and go right to the calendar and book your own 30-minute session. So it's not a sales pitch or anything like Jonathan said. It's basically figuring out where you want to go and then how he can help and if it's possible to help you get there. So what we're talking about today is how to get more listings and how to work with your ideal clients. That's Jonathan. You're phenomenal at that part. You're very good at going out and getting listings for the most part just with the type of people that you like to work with. And I really want to dig into kind of what your process is for getting new listings and how you're able to repel the people that don't work well with you while you attract the people that do. So take me through like what your process is, how you're prospecting or how you're generating leads or inquiries, and then how those are turning into listings for you, and then we'll kind of dig into the different elements of the process.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I got to tell you, I haven't always been this way. So when I started in real estate, 14 years ago, I did maybe 10 million my first year. But I was working a lot, probably 100, 110 hours a week. And I would work with anybody, anytime, anywhere. By my third year, I was making about 30 million in sales, give or take, but I was working about 40 hours a week. And I was really starting to build a process, a proven process. And now I probably work, and work is a tough term, but truly work 10 to 20 hours a week. And financially, I'm having my best years ever. And it's because I've gotten really clear on who I want to best help. And for me, it's helping out sellers. It's helping out sellers kind of in that $800,000 to maybe $3 million price range. And then it's just really focusing on those people.
Okay. So about how many clients, if you're working 10 to 20 hours a week, how many clients are you working with on average at any one given time?
Yeah, so I tell people I work with 4 to maybe 5 clients at a time.
Okay. Now, what's your value proposition to that type of high-end seller? Is it any different from the way you go in and meet with maybe just a standard middle class homeowner? Are you phrasing things differently? Are you marketing in a different way in order to appeal to those types of clients?
No, I mean that's the beautiful part about this. It's basically the same. And so, and I've had it where I've sold, gosh, 120, 130 homes a year. I just like the way that I have it now, for my lifestyle. And I'm all about making a difference, but also making a fortune at the same time. And to me, making a difference is also, and primarily, making a difference in my family life and my personal life. And so I don't have a desire to make $600,000 to $800,000 a year if it's going to require me to work 100 hours a week. And
Right.
so I want to work as little as possible, have the biggest impact as possible, and just be really clear, direct, and firm with people. And I find that the more I do that, the more the right people are attracted to me, whether it be, in the past, a $200,000 seller, or, in today's world, a $2 million seller.
All right, so where are the leads coming from, and how are they coming into you, the different inquiries, or how are you getting people's contact information? What's that process like?
Yeah, probably the greatest success on listings for me has been and is postcards. And I'll give you an example of one. Here's a postcard I send out. I don't know if it's on the screen or whatnot, but it has a call to action on the front, has some calls to actions on the back, and they vary, but pretty similar stuff. Some data. I love this one.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a testimonial theme.
Oh yeah, yeah. But those postcards go out to 5,000 people per month. 5,000 people every 2 weeks, so twice a month. And sometimes it's every 3 weeks. Because again, I really set a limit on how much I want to work. And so there's some weeks where I don't send it out every 2 weeks, and it goes out every 3 weeks or whatnot. But yeah, from those postcards, I probably sent out 14 of those now, and I've probably done a little over maybe 250,000 of income. One of the checks I got recently was this check. That's $39,000. And the postcards, every time I send it out, probably cost me $1,500. So what is that? 1,500 times 15. So I've sent out $20,000 worth, and I've made 250,000-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty good return on investment.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about the on the postcard end. Now, you mentioned before that you're a big fan of Dan Kennedy, and so there's very clear, direct calls to action. The language is very, very clear and concise on the postcards. That's what people may miss just from glancing at it. And I only know this because I've had more of a chance to look at them than people did for the few seconds they were on the screen.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of thought put behind those postcards. So in terms of the way that people come into you, the language is on the postcards. And then tell me a little about the process of where are they going? Where's the postcard sending them? What kind of information are you getting when they're going to those pages? And then how are you following up with them?
Yeah, and you're right. There's a lot of realtors who ask me, they're like, well, what are you doing different, right? Because a lot of people send postcards out, and how come I'm getting a large return on investment from it? And I tell them, well, I love marketing. And I'm really a marketing company that happens to sell real estate. And that's probably my big value proposition to sellers as well, because they say, well, you're a realtor, this other person's a realtor. And I say, yeah, I'm a licensed realtor, but that's really not what I do. I'm a marketing company that happens to sell real estate. And I go to marketing conferences that are outside of real estate, because I kind of want to do not what the typical realtor does, if that makes sense. And yeah, it's just very proven language. It's like clear, direct, it's firm. It's attracting the people that I want, because I want to work with someone who's kind of clear on what they want to accomplish. And so my languaging attracts exactly who I want to work with, and it kind of repels the people that I don't want to work with. That just makes my life easier.
Yeah, and just briefly, what is your ideal seller client, and what's the time frame that they're looking to make a move in?
Yeah, so typically it's in 90 days or less. Typically they have to be fun and friendly people. To me, that's important. They have to realize that I'm the expert and that I've done this, and I've helped over 1,200 individuals out now. But I can also coach other realtors to have similar success that have had zero experience in the past. Like there's this realtor I started working with recently. She just turned 19, right? And before she turned 19, she'd been working with me for about 2 months. And in that 2-month time period when she was 18, she had sold 2 houses already just from working with me for 2 months, and probably put, I don't know, $16,000 into her pocket. So yeah, she's pretty excited about that. But it's
Pretty good
just,
for an 18-year-old.
yeah, it is. It's just using the right dialogue and just being really, really confident that you are the best #1 choice out there. And I don't know if that answered that question or not.
Well, it kind of took it in a different direction, but yes. Let's get back to the process of how leads are coming into you and how you're following up a little bit before we move on to some other stuff. So when they're going from that postcard, I noticed one of the other things that's on that postcard is a lot of times it's a success story, whether it's a testimonial or whether it's a specific home that sold. Like some of them will even say, you know, sold in 6 days and whatnot. So there's some other like credibility factors going on in that postcard, and that's one thing that people need to take advantage of whenever they can to put on a marketing piece. But what happens when they go to your squeeze page? What information are they putting in that you're capturing, and then how are you following up with them?
Yeah, and we could do another one of these in the future where I can go over the 5 things that need to be on a postcard that really get the phone to ring. But yeah, so I'm not that great at following up with these people. I've been doing this now for 14, 15 postcards. I think there's well over 400 people that have logged in and, you know, given me their address, their phone number. I've yet to follow up with those people, which is really sad, because I'm not.
Don't need the immediate business. That's the key there.
Yeah, I don't need the immediate business. I really, yeah. I mean, I'm at a stage in my life, and I tell this to clients. I'm like, gosh, I want to work with you, but if you don't want to work with me, that's okay. Like my mortgage, I don't have one. My car payments, I don't have them. I've saved a lot, right? And I've invested wisely. So I really want to help you just because I want to help you. I don't need your money to pay my mortgage or whatnot. And that's what I love helping other realtors accomplish, right? Because a lot of realtors come to me, Matt, and they're like in debt, or they've been working for like 10 years or 5 years, and they're like, I have no money saved up. And it's like, oh my gosh, all right, let's put all this other stuff to the side. Let's get it so that you're saving 20% of your paycheck every single month. Let's get it so that you're giving away 10% of your paycheck every single month. Well, how do I do that? How can I do that? I don't have enough coming in. Well, we need to get more sales so that you can give away 10% of your income, because that's like magical. And we need to start saving 20% of your income, and it doesn't take a year to accomplish that. But yeah, so back to the postcards. So I send it out to 5,000 people. They get it every 2 weeks, give or take. How did I choose it? I chose it because they were within probably a 7-minute drive from my house, because I want to work as little as possible, yet make as much as possible. And the homes are, I'd say, in that $800,000 to maybe $3 million range. I could drive 25 minutes in San Diego and be in an $8 million neighborhood. I just don't, it's just not my mission in life, I guess, you know. And so my mission in life is spending time with my kids and my family, really. So
that's because you're, and just for people that don't know, and I only know this because we got a chance to talk about it before we started recording, but you chose that area, and part of the reason that you chose an area where it's within driving distance is because you're doing a lot of, surprisingly for someone that makes like a high income and you've started your own teams and kind of systematized everything, you do still have a pretty heavy hand, very active role in like meeting people at the house, supervising everything, supervising the photography, the videography. I mean, tell people about the appointment that you've got this afternoon, for example.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I only work with 4 to 5 clients at a time, and I tell them that because you're going to work with me, right? Like you're not going to work with an assistant of an assistant of an assistant. And so I'm going out to this house today, and I'm going to supervise the drone video, you know, the aerial photo, that kind of stuff. And then later in the evening, I'm going to go out and supervise the still photography that happens. To me, that's work, but that's really important work. That's also a time where I'm like bonding with the seller, right? And I'm going over, okay, we're going to list your home at this price. We're going to test the market. Either the market's going to agree with us within 30 days, or the market's not going to agree with us in 30 days. And if need be, we're going to have to adjust the price lower to get to where the market is. And yeah, the more face time I can have with people, the better, right? So there's some realtors that take the opposite approach, and they go, hey, you know, they're going to sign the listing, and that's kind of the last you hear of them.
Yeah.
Where I want to have as much excuse to meet with the seller over and over and over and over to build rapport with them.
Now, why is that? I mean, I suspect it's because it's part of, you know, a referral generation strategy, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, so I want to work as little as possible and make as much as possible. And so to do that, I can either follow up with these 400 people that have inquired about, you know, what's the value of my home, or all I do is I just wait for them to call me, and then I follow up with them. And then when I meet them, there's not too often where I don't get the listing. The only big reason would be I just don't want the listing, because what I do marketing wise, and this could be like 12 episodes. I mean, it's just, it blows away what people do, because again, I'm a marketing company that happens to sell real estate.
Right.
And so everything that we do is just a level above. So yeah, so I want to meet with, in essence today, Monica and Mike at 1:30 and bring them a bottle of champagne and say, hey, we're the closest we've ever been to getting your home sold. And then, you know, meet them again at 7 o'clock. And now we have the twilight photos. And hey, guys, do you have any questions for me? Because I know they do, right?
Yeah.
And it's my father-in-law was a physician, and he says what makes a good doctor, because they're all the same. They've all gone to medical school, but it's their bedside manner, right? And so I want to be the physician, that I'm very good at my craft and what I do, but I want to make sure that they realize they're the most important person in the world, and that if they have questions and concerns, that's normal and they're human, and I want to go over those with them.
Now, what is that approach and that rapport building with the clients? What does that yield you in terms of referrals?
Well, lots. I mean, so I've sold over $300 million of real estate. So, gosh, I was just looking at it the other day. I've made income-wise over the last 14 years about $11 million of like income, right? So I've paid our U.S. government whatever $4 million in tax or something like that.
Yeah, don't think about that.
Right. You know, and it's that's what it's done for me. I mean, what it's done for me, it's allowed me to start a real estate company in Minnesota, build it up, run it in San Diego where I moved, you know, sell it probably a year and a half ago. It's allowed me to just wake up one morning 3 years ago in San Diego and be like, I should sell real estate out here. Like, I really like to help people. And that year, I'd have to look, but I probably did 900,000, you know, of income. And so it's, I don't know, it's just very easy for me. It's very natural. And I love helping out other realtors who are just happy with themselves and comfortable in their own skin, and helping them really thrive and do better. Yeah.
That's interesting, because I think it's maybe easy to miss in your description of how easy it is that there's a couple of things that I know just based on your other materials that I've seen that differs from a lot of the other top producers and team leaders that I've interviewed, you know, across the country.
Yeah.
which is that you do an excellent job of setting up like every client you work with the expectation that they're going to gladly and naturally and happily refer you to a couple of people before they even close. Now, there's very few people, I think, that are really good at setting that up in advance before you ever even start working with them. There's lots of people that ask. There's lots of people that ask badly or at poor times. There's not very many people that set that up. So I think there's a critical component there, which is, yes, you're generating leads from new people, but then you're also doing a much better job than the average person or even a great team leader does at generating referrals off of the people that you want to work with.
Oh, yeah. And again, I'd rather work with 5 clients at a time and have them introduce me people.
Yeah.
Then
they'll help you narrow it down to the people that you actually want to work with.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So this morning, before we got on this call here, I got a call from a handyman that I use, right? And he said, hey, I got this house. It's like 1.2 million. It's a friend of mine. Can you sell it? Yeah, okay. So I set that up. I'll go over. I'll meet them later this afternoon. Probably be an hour-long appointment. Then I come back and I really do a thorough market analysis and all that kind of stuff. But the first appointment is just meeting them, showing up, well, and showing them the marketing that I do. And basically, my quick phrase is, hey, I'm going to get the job done for you. I'm not going to let you down. And I'm going to do everything that every other realtor is going to do for you, plus an additional 34 things. And
yeah,
your house will sell faster. It will sell for more money, and it will sell with less stress on you, guaranteed. In fact, here's our performance guarantees, and it's fun. Yeah, so
I'm sure it is, yeah.
If people really want to learn how to make real estate fun, and that's why it's called profitsandpassions.com, they should definitely connect with me. And the best thing they can do is probably set up for a strategy call, right? 30 minutes with myself, and I'll listen to them, and then I'll quickly diagnose what they should do and what they should probably stop doing. The next best thing they should do is watch that 2-hour-long webinar. Oh my gosh, this is like my 14-year career condensed into 2 hours, and it's a lot of tactics and tangible takeaways. And then probably the least effective, but more effective than doing nothing, would be to get the 4 secret, steps to success. And this is like, I think, a 10 or 11-page document that condenses that down into really simple steps. But real estate's really simple. Just keep it simple.
I love that approach. So, yeah, well, I mean, you basically hit it. So if all the links that people need to either to book the strategy session or to watch the webinar, download the 4 secret steps to success, all that stuff is in the email. So take a look at that. It's all below. So and with that, we'll kind of we'll stop this one. And yeah, I encourage people to go ahead and do that and make sure that you get a strategy session, because I think you'll walk away with a definite kind of roadmap to get where you want to go. So with that, Jonathan, we will see you on the next video.
Yeah, sounds great. Have a great day.